Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brilmann, and I'm thrilled to be joined here by Solari, and we are witnessing yet another game from LFL 2021. Hello, Solari.
Hello, Brilmann. I am extremely happy to be back here again. Good evening, everybody who's watching us today. Bonjour to our stream, and dzień dobry to everybody who's watching us from Poland, because today we are having the clash of two teams. One of them being, guess it. Please tell me, Brilmann, who is the first team?
It's Misfits Premier.
Exactly, lots of Polish players, extremely beautiful, and such a clean game in the first day, the first game of LFL 2021. I was absolutely in love with how well it was executed from their side. But today they are facing a very interesting and a very challenging team, which is going to be Karmine Corp.
Exactly. And honestly speaking, even though I'm absolutely in love with the way how clean and how absolutely amazingly do Misfits manage their resources on the map and how they were able to execute this first game of the first day absolutely amazingly, I do have my eyes set on Karmine Corp as well. Because listen to this. When they were facing against Vitality B, even though they weren't exactly the most cleanest of players in the Summoner's Rift, I have to give them all the props in the world for how well were they able to tell the situation that was happening on the map, and how well were they able to handle it while playing against Vitality B, which eventually led to the victory of Karmine Corp against Vitality B. And right now we are having two very interesting, extremely appealing teams to go against each other, and it is very hard even for me to root for somebody, because at the one side of it, we have Misfits, who they just play fantastically clean and fantastically well. And on the other hand, we're having this Karmine Corp team, and they do just those cheesy tactics that I just love, because the way they used both of their teleports from Adam and from Seiken in order to destroy enemies' base in the game against Vitality B, that was just fantastic. That was just an emotional roller coaster. So I am extremely looking forward to that match, because it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Same feeling here. I just don't even have anything to add, because the last game was something, frankly, and I'm really looking forward to it, because Karmine Corp is going to be a challenge to Misfits. I have a feeling that it's going to be a challenge for them. Maybe especially on the top lane, because we've seen what Adam is capable of, even playing from quite behind. He still manages to just do crazy things on the map and with his champion. And also there is also another reason why I'm looking forward to this game, because as I said in the previous game that we casted, in Karmine Corp we have 3 people who used to play for Misfits Premier in the last season, and actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they were actually playing with Aggressivo, who is the top laner now for Misfits. So it's going to be a clash of people who used to play together, and it's going to be really interesting, just, you know, from a person's point of view, okay? Not just as a caster, but as a human being. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be something like you're facing your old arch nemesis. This is personal. This is going to be a personal stake here. And honestly speaking, even though I am absolutely appealed by Karmine Corp, and I just love the way how they were able to position themselves while they were playing against Vitality B, I personally do have a feeling that Misfits are going to be able to pull this off, because with the way how amazingly they were able to handle their early game and their mid game and late game, basically every part of the game, it is a bit of a question for me if those cheesy tactics are going to work for Team Karmine Corp. And we're jumping straight to the bank, so let's see what these two teams are having for us. We see Talia, Olaf, Akali, and Needle being banned instantly, which is not exactly something should surprise us, as we have seen Syncroft's Talia, and it was fantastic.
Indeed. There is also a ban of Lilia. That's a very good ban to answer the ban of Talia, because if Nobody's going to get one mobile champion in the jungle. Nobody's gonna get another mobile champion in the jungle. I love the bans so far, though they are currently focusing on the jungle, mostly looking at that Akali for
And
the
that's
mid lane there.
Darius.
And
That's Darius for Adam just being stripped from him.
No, Adam, you're not taking it, but they are locking
Ooh.
Graves. They are taking away Graves from Schladan, and the question is what he's going to pick now, because Graves is banned, Nidalee is banned, and almost everybody for jungle, almost everybody who Schladan plays is banned. So the question is who he is going to go for? I don't know
This
yet.
personal. I'm telling you, this is personal. I just want to see. Oh my God!
That's
they
a
have
good
decided
answer.
to go with a counter pick for themselves. As we have seen Xmati to play Kalista and manage it extremely
Kai'Sa.
well. Kai'Sa. Oh my God! Why am I calling everybody Kalista? I'm just seeing Kalistas everywhere.
You miss Kalistas.
I miss a good Kalista. That is true. But still,
Kindred! Look at that! I was hoping to see Kindred because Schladan is very good as Kindred, and yes, he locks it. Beautiful.
my God, this looks to be actually wow. Whoa!
Oh no,
What is happening
Surges,
here?
you are not taking that Zoe. They're just taking away the champions from Misfits. Misfits are actually doing the same with Kai'Sa because wow. No, you are right. This is personal at this moment.
No, I mean, honestly, look at it. It seems like both teams are just doing these low blows to each other, trying to see who is going to be the first to give that quarter. And I'm honestly, Oriana is actually a very solid pick against Zoe. And I'm honestly absolutely thrilled to see this Gragas on the top lane. I'm very interested what Misfits is going to come up with in order to answer for it, because I'm not exactly 100% sure that Ornn is going to be the best pick that we can think about, although it's probably going to be actually quite well, considering the Gragas won't be able to sustain that much damage from Ornn, and he has to go face to face against him. But
nope.
K-Corp do know about this, so they are just stripping them again. They're just stripping them off that Ornn. And I don't know what actually we're going to see. Maybe Mordekaiser.
Maybe Mordekaiser or Wukong. Maybe I'm just thinking.
Is that a little bit of this Russian esports scene talking out from you?
maybe. But to be fair, right now I don't really know what Aggressiva is going to answer this with. In the meantime, there are oh my god,
Malphite.
that's another ban actually for the top lane.
Whoa! That is a bit. What?
That's a Raken.
So I know that's a racket. I'm just not sure how am I supposed to react on this. This is actually very interesting that right now Misfits, due to their bans, they have actually were able to secure themselves a very, very safe bot lane, and this is going to be Leona, something Drac Troll is going to be very familiar about, because he loves to play those tanky supports. I'm not exactly sure how K-Corp are going to actually answer for that, as they don't really have any. Whoa!
Oh my god, this is Draven for Xmati. I really hope he locks it, because this is going to be a power machine on the bot lane. And Kai'Sa. Okay, no.
Saya, they have decided to go something Vitality B have tried to pull
Against.
on them.
Yeah, that we saw it in the last game when Xmati actually locked Kai'Sa for himself, and we saw Smiley taking Saya against him. Not that it really worked well. And finally, we're going to see Seraphine on the professional scene.
No. What?
Okay.
Is it going to be Atrox? Is it going to be Atrox? Wait, is it going
It's
to
going to be Gragas support, probably.
Well, there is one being answered by Camille.
Camille for the top lane. That's a very good pick, actually.
That's a very good
thing.
pick. And just thinking about it, you know what it could be also, and I would be absolutely happy to see that. If Zoe going to be support, we will have Atrox on the mid lane, and we're going to have Gragas on the top lane. This is also a possibility, open possibility for the team K-Corp, and I don't really know what setup it is going to be. No, it's going to be Gragas supports here.
That's interesting. I don't think we've seen Gragas support for a very, very long time. But to be fair, I'm just looking at the top lane, and that's going to be a very interesting match right there.
This is going to be a bloodbath. Just look at the picks. both Misfits and K-Corp are going with extremely aggressive and set-upable picks right here, because you can see Gragas, who's going to be able to set up a very, very good team fight with his ultimate. You see also Atrox, who's going to be absolutely unstoppable in case he's not going to be absolutely punished by Camille, which also can happen in this game. And at the same time, we have Schlotten on Kindred, and he's going to be aggressive on that little sheep. And the bot lane, Kai'Sa and Leona. Yes, Kai'Sa, not Kalista. This is going to be absolutely brutal for Xayah and Gragas, as they have much more potential of going in, trying to go all in on them, and maybe even taking that kill. So I expect it to be a bloodbath, and I hope it's going to be a good bloodbath.
I really, really love the picks from Misfits, because the champions they have chosen, not only are they overpowered in the current state of the game. I'm just looking at this Camille, who dominates the top lane currently. I'm looking at this Leona, who is considered to be the best support currently you can ever pick for the bot lane for any setup, basically. I'm looking at this Kai'Sa, who gets Kraken Slayer, and then she's basically unstoppable. Orianna, pretty much the same thing. Kindred, we haven't seen too much Kindred yet, but I just know that Schlotten is really good with Kindred, so I think the power of the champion, the items are not really going to be a problem for him at any point of the game.
The only concern that I do have about the pick of Misfits is actually that Orianna, because thinking about it, I'm not exactly 100% convinced that she's going to have the same amount of damage that Zoe is able to produce. And it is much more harder to actually catch her on your ultimate, because you really have to time it. And thinking about it, on one side of me telling, yes, Certus is capable of doing that. One side is saying this. The other side is saying, however, that it is still a Zoe, one good sleep, and Orianna is getting decimated, just ripped to pieces. So, uneven matchup in my eyes, but I'm really looking forward to this. As I am welcoming you on this Summoner's Rift.
Let's see how it goes. I am so much looking for this game on every lane, in the jungle, in the teamfights. That's going to be so much action. Hopefully, really looking forward to it, and really loving the skin on Camille, by the way, but that doesn't have much to do with the actual gameplay.
Just look at those green legs, sharpy legs. This is going to be something fantastic from it.
Yes, I also really want to see Adam playing on Atrox. We have seen what he is capable of doing with his Darius, but Atrox, that's a champion that is a real pain for almost any top laner. Even though Camille is extremely powerful right now, she might have actually a little bit of hard time on the top lane.
Although I'm not exactly convinced by the pick of Gragas by Targanas, because we've seen them to play Leon, and he did a little bit of questionable actions on Leona. I suppose Jack Troll is going to be a little bit more capable of understanding what he's supposed to do at some point, because we know that he loves those chunky big supports. Yes. But just thinking about it, on one side, yes, he wasn't really able to pull something good from his Leona. On the other hand, it's still Gragas.
Well, to be fair, okay, look at this action in the very beginning of the game.
From the very beginning, would you see him getting into that fight in a little bit of a skirmish right now? We also apologize for a little bit of a technical difficulties, but that just sometimes happens. We see Jack Troll getting there yet again to Garnis, and in a very, very bad position, as he's just absolutely decimated by Woolite. And I mean, wow.
Just before this little skirmish, not so little anymore, started on the bot lane, I wanted to say that if I were to bet my money on this bot lane, my money honestly would be with Misfits Premier right here, because Woolite on Kai'Sa, that's so scary, because he mains the champion, he knows what she's capable of, and the champion is overpowered. And then this Yak Troll on this Leona, that's a powerhouse of the bot lane.
And look at this in the same time. That's what we see. That's what we would love to see from both of the top laners, as they are now going in. And there's also Graves coming into the fray. That might be a first bot for Team K-Corp, as Aggressive was trying to get away from him. It has to burn his flash. And that is enough for K-Corp, as they're going to withdraw. with that little victory.
And that flash actually saves his life, but that was a very good follow-up from Synchro. Actually, that was super close to taking that very early first blood on the top lane. I was pretty sure that was going to happen. And Camille, of course, has to burn the teleport now to get back to the top lane and not lose the precious farm that she really needs now.
But I just want to give a little bit of a kudos to K-Crop right now, because they know that they face an extremely hard opponent, especially with the fact that you have 3 members of Team Misfits before, and they have won the LFL. So they know that it is a very, very dangerous to leave Misfits into this feeling of confidence. So what they're trying to do is make them understand that they're not exactly in the most safest of the positions, and that is a good strategy from Team K-Crop, and I hope it's going to play out for them, because that means that they will push Misfits into some kind of a new answer.
I have a feeling that we're going to see more action on the top lane pretty soon, because look first of all at that aggressive word from Aggressivo. That's a very good combination actually, but I think that Misfits will try to do something with that Adam on that Aatrox, and they need to do it early enough to stop him from just powering himself up and becoming unstoppable.
But just look at the Aggressivo. How well does he handle the fact that he's supposed to deal with Aatrox? And honestly speaking, I'm quite interested about the itemization that we're about to see, because looking at the picks, I don't really know if we're going to see full tank Gragas. Maybe yes, maybe not. But that is a bit of a question right now, because if he doesn't go at least a little bit of AP, that means that there will be 3 hard AD champions on Team K-Crop. Yes, you have. Wow! In the meantime, we see even Ignite being burnt onto Garnas as Jack Troll and Woolit is able to secure the lane for them, as Targanas has to withdraw in order to regain some kind of HP, and at the same time Aggressivo is being aggressed out, I suppose, of his lane a little by Adam. I'm thinking if I'm going to be let to actually finish my sentence over here. Probably yes, probably not. I'm not exactly sure about that. And I don't even remember where I have ended, so it doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Let's move on, because there is going to be a roam from that Zoe to the top lane, and Syncroft is already there, and Aggressivo is in trouble.
But that is a missleep from Seiken, as Aggressivo is going to be able
and
to get
look
himself
at
away
Misfits
from that gang. But look at this. In the meantime, Schlatten is just uses this opportunity when he doesn't really see the jungler from the opposite team, and then just taking that dragon. Oh my god, 6 minutes into the game, and so much things are happening on the map already.
Almost first blood 2 times already in a row on the top lane. That was such a good opportunity for K-Corp to actually secure that first blood. Well, Aggressivo proves yet again that he is here for a reason. He knows how to play his champion, his lane, with his team. He is just good, and you cannot deny it.
I cannot, and I will not. But the only thing I would like to point out is just look at the farm differences between Xayah and Kai'Sa. I just want to point out how important it is to lock yourself a very good support, because of the actions that Jack Troll was taking in that bot lane, just showing how aggressive and well aggressive he can be with that Leona. He just shows and basically zones out Matty and denies him from farming his lane.
Well, that's the thing about this setup on the bot lane. You really want to be aggressive as possible when you're playing Kai'Sa and Leona, because Xayah, before she hits level 6, that's interesting amount of pink wards here on the Drake, by the way, but never mind.
Basically 4 words are standing there.
Yes, I was just fascinated by the amount of the vision that Misfits are just putting everywhere, every bush, every step must be worth it, and that's a very good strategy that actually wins games. But let me very quickly finish my thought, because we might see some action here next to the dragon, even though the dragon is not due anytime soon. You want to engage into the Xayah because she doesn't really have much means of escaping you before she hits level 6, but never mind, because this damage from Orianna!
That is an ultimate from Orianna, probably going to be able to do quite a lot of damage, making Team K-Corp to withdraw. In the meantime, we have Adam just decimating Aggressive as he has to flush forward in order to try to get that kill. Gets even greedy and going under the turret. Probably yes, and that is a solo first blood for Adam as he's able to get Aggressive down.
Third time Aggressive tried to escape his fate, but the inevitable in the end found him and got him. Oh my god, even though it was a burn flash from Adam, he went just straight under that tower, not being afraid of anything at all. This is Aatrox, my friends. This is what he does. That's why you might want to ban him in the next game you have.
He just picked that opportunity, knew what he has to do, knew that Aggressive still doesn't have fire because he burned it at the moment when they tried to go for that. No, he did have flash. He did have flash. He flashed away just the moment that he actually pressed that ultimate. That is very interesting tactics over here, as we see Kingcroft is actually might be in a bit of a trouble right now as Aggressive goes in. Amazing juke by Kingcroft, but is it going to be enough as he has to burn his flash in order to try to get away, but probably is giving up as he's not going to be able, and Sertras is picking up that kill as Team K-Corp is going in there and trying to do some kind of a harm and some kind of a damage to Team Misfits, probably going to try to steal that Herald from them. I'm not exactly sure what is a reliable tactic right now, because look at it. Team Misfit is being grouped here at the top side of the map, as all of them are actually moving right now to that Herald, and Syncroft is quite far away, and that means that this Kindred is going to try to steal that precious Herald from Team as he's going in, and here comes Ultimate is being burned away as here comes the steal of that Herald. In the same time, Matt is able to pick up that Kindred, as in the main moments we see Ultimate being burned by Orianna as Misfits are just forced to withdraw, even though that wasn't an even fight.
That wasn't an even fight. There was a lot actually burned from Team Misfits. You can see just all the flashes going on cooldown right now. But in the end, Schlaran managed to get that Herald for his team. Kudos to Schlaran. He is indeed incredible jungler, and you, again, cannot deny it. Even though the Herald actually in the end goes to the support. So Yaktrol probably will be able to use it to the advantage of his own lane.
And looking at the gold difference, I have a feeling that Misfits were quite confident about what they're doing, because they are going to try to take that dragon, and they have full opportunity of doing so, because Syncroft is not going to be able to absolutely securely try to fight against it. We see how both teams are now moving themselves towards that bot lane, but Camille is quite far away from everybody. Is it going to be probably not exactly an even fight, as Aatrox is showing himself into that fray. Dragon is going extremely low, though, as there's another sleep that being missed. He's going to probably take... No, it's being actually stolen by that Zoe, as we have both teams engaging into the fight, as Camille has already joined the fray, and we see just a collision between those teams as Misfits were able to turn this fight around, but they were forced to pay with that dragon.
That actually can be a fair price to pay this time, because 2 kills on Aggressive, that double kill that just went to Camille, might be something that could potentially win the whole game to Misfits in the end, because this Camille with his Aggressive, with already having 2 kills in the very beginning of the game where no one actually has many kills at all, that could be a game changer for them.
Just look at this. The moment that Team K-Corp went into it, we see Aggressive using his teleport on that ward in order to get into the fray. And we see how, well, in the meantime, we have a little bit of an action here in the bot lane. Maybe it's going to be something, maybe it's not. Yes, maybe I will be even given an opportunity to finish my sentence, and I will be, luckily. And I just want to point out that Misfits were able to punish K-Corp for going way too deep into them, which is which is actually very interesting. That just showcases how well Misfits do know what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, and K-Corp not exactly thinking through some of the things that they're doing.
That's something we have already seen in the game style of Misfits. First of all, they are good at punishing the enemies, at catching their mistakes and punishing them for making them. Secondly, they are really good at understanding and applying this understanding of what's happening on the map to how they're grouping up, what they're doing as a team and as each member of the team. This is what they're really strong at. Kudos to the team actually for the team play.
Absolutely agree with you. I'm thinking about if we're going to see some kind of an answer from K-Corp, as we see still skirmishes going around, but this Camille being fed with 2 kills. Now she is in a possessment of Trinity Force, and I don't really think that it is very wise to go one-on-one against her.
No, absolutely not. She is actually the first one on her team to finish an item thanks to that beautiful double kill that she managed to pick in the last fight, and K-Corp also have only one champion who managed to finish a mythic item.
And look at this! Woolite is able to pick up yet another turret plate and is going to be able to pick up probably all of them, not, well, maybe not as they're about to withdraw, because 4 members of Team K-Corp are already here in order to try to join the fray, as they're not going to make it in time to pick up all 5 of the turret plates. But just thinking about it, that's a lot of money going for Woolite over here.
I love how they all rush to save that little precious tower of theirs on the bottom. That's a beautiful
look at that, that's
ultimate!
an amazing set of ultimate, as Certus is able to give an amazing amount of damage into that poor Graves, as we have seen Leona absolutely amazingly catching Saya in the very same moment as she uses her feathers in order to try and stun Jacktroll of not going way too deep on her, but that didn't save him, as Jacktroll outplayed him and were able to give that kill to his team.
Jacktroll's ultimate back there was amazing. I am Leona mainer myself. I love a good ultimate from Leona because it can start a good fight, it can stop a bad fight, it can basically change everything for your team, and that was an example of starting a fight and then basically ending it immediately because Grace was done in a mere second, and the same fate happened to Xmari because that Woolite with that Kai'Sa, he just went in there and picked up the kill just without double thinking anything at all.
I just have to point out that we see the differences between the 2 supports, and one of them knows precisely what he's doing, and the other one wasn't really knowing precisely what he's doing. Because with all my props to K-Corp, Targanis wasn't really good at it as Leona. And we see Jacktroll here, on the other hand, being absolutely amazing on that, with timing on that Leona, because you could see that in the mere second that Orianna landed her ultimate on poor Graves, we've seen Jacktroll just immediately falling up with his own ultimate, and in the very second that Xmati went out of his own ultimate, we've seen E being burned in order to... Whoa, never mind! As here we see Adam flashes in order to try to catch Certus, as his Certus is going to go away with a flash of his own and tanks the bot, sorry, but not able to pick up that kill. Probably is going to be a double kill. Goes golden in order to be survived, and here comes the Gunners in order to tank his turret for his team member, but here comes Jacktroll. Maybe it's going to end pretty badly for him, as here comes the sleep and the ultimate from Jacktroll, not able to get some more damage from Seiken, as they're going to probably withdraw, maybe not going to actually continue with that fight, as it was a solid one-on-one exchange. But look at this, in the same moment, White Kalista, no, it was Kai'Sa, just going onto that poor Graves, as he's just being bantered by the enemy team. And we see here that probably Misfits are going to try to take that dragon. It seems like, well, we see an amazing engage from that Jacktroll, but not going to be enough, as Taganas is going away in very, very low. Jacktroll is probably going to be dead in a few mere seconds. Yes, he is, as Team K-Corp are going to withdraw, but they were able to pick up even 2 kills, as Certus was unfortunately out of position. Here comes Adam also to join the fray. Kai'Sa has to flash away in order to get herself to safety, as for some reason Schlatten is still staying here as Adam are going to chase him down. Probably not going to be able to pick up that kill as K-Crop, no, maybe will be, as Schlatten has to burn away his ultimate in order to stay alive. Here comes Aggressivo, and that's a amazing outflank from Seiken, able to pick up that kill. Adam is still staying in the fray as Aggressivo trying to withdraw as well, and oh my god!
God, what is happening here? This is actually a very fair fight between both teams because both are extremely powerful, both know what they're doing, and no one actually could take a real lead back there, because actually kudos to Certus in the very beginning of that fight. When he was surrounded, he almost got 2 kills for himself under the tower, being without any HP left. If only Zoe didn't go golden there to save her precious life in the very last moment, he would have picked 2 kills. And then this, what was happening right here, the amazing engage from Yaktrol, but unfortunately wasn't enough because he was already losing too much HP. Oh my god, what was happening here?
Just look at that team fight, because it's amazing how both teams were coming up with some kind of a solution, some kind of an answer to both what the opposite team were doing. And we just look at this. Adam is showcasing yet again that he's an extremely aggressive player. And even though Schlatten was able to get away from him, just look at that Seiken getting in and able to land that damage on Schlatten and taking him right after his ultimate was popped. As we see, actually Misfits is taking that Herald as trying some kind of an answer for Team K-Crop. But I just want to point out one more thing here. Certus went in there extremely fast in order to do something about it. But because of his misposition, from that Zoe receiving that sleepness, that's exactly what I was talking about when we were even at the draft picks. 1 sleep and you're dead.
That sleep though needs to be landed. I think that was one of the first really good sleeps landed from Zoe in this game, but it actually changed everything for K-Crop. I must say though that in that position back there in the Dragon Pit, Schlatten was probably not in the best position to just go directly for the Dragon. That was very aggressive, that was very bold and very brave, but K-Crop are not exactly the team who will be scared by you being very aggressive and very confident, because they are very confident in themselves too, and they can answer you. But look at that!
Just look at that! Jaktro is just getting in yet again. That's an amazing ultimate from 3 members of the team, as Tagan is probably going to go down, able to save his life from that damage, but not able to survive any more as he's going down, even though there was an amazing engage from him. And Team Misfits are continuing to push because they have all the opportunity to do so. And we have a pause probably from K-Crop over here. Maybe there was some kind of a technical issue. Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe our French colleagues are just too impressed with what's happening on the map right now, but so much is happening. But I must say, in the last game, my personal MVP was Schlatten in the jungle. But in this game so far, no, I am very sorry, Schlatten, but this time I am looking at this Leon and my heart is completely stolen by those engages from Yaktrol. They are absolutely brave. They're absolutely just straightforward going to secure somebody for their team, and they are beautiful, most importantly.
I have to agree with you 100% because Jaktrol is just driving me crazy. Those initiations from him is just... they're just fantastic. You can't just imagine a book in front of yourself. How to engage an enemy if you're Leona. Jack Troll is just following that book step by step and doing it absolutely perfectly.
Yes. Comparing him to a book is exactly what I want to hear. By the way, I wanted to point it out some time ago. Kaisa is building a slightly different item against of what we have seen before. No, that's a Gale Force. Yeah,
that's a Gale Force. Well, it's my time to say something about the itemization. Why am I calling this a Gore Drink if that's a Gale Force? What am I doing?
Even though she's not building Kraken Slayer as we usually see being built on Kaisa and working extremely nice, it's still the Collector on that Kaisa, and that's so much just pure damage to the enemy team. This
It
Woolite
makes perfect
is a
sense
problem,
if you
will
think
be a
about it.
problem. Yes.
Because look at this, you have an Aatrox and you have Gragas that don't really go full tankiness. That means that even though Kraken Slayer would have been very good against them, you don't really need it that much. But
Yep.
in the same time, you have Kindred and you have Camille on your team. That means that these two bruisers, these two front laners, are going to be taken care of. What do you have to take care of? The glass cannons. And that's exactly what this Kai'Sa is going to be able to do.
I'm not exactly sure if Kindred is going to be a bruiser in this setup, but you have Leona who is just jumping into the enemy team, this beautiful Yaktrol, and he's just taking care of everybody that the team needs to take care of, and then all that is needed from you is just to follow up with this little cloud burst and just finish what needs to be done.
Yes, I meant that Kindred is going to be able to kill those front laners, but it doesn't really matter because we see right now that both teams have their eyes yet again set on that dragon. This is a very risky engage on that dragon from Team Misfits as Aggressible is getting caught by that sleep. And Zoe's trying to get that dragon, but not being able to do that. Here comes an amazing ultimate from Saganas as a very good initiation of that fight from them. As the Misfits are trying to withdraw from Karmine Corp as they're not able to get anything done right here because you have Camille, you have Leona, and you don't really want to go into this fight. And now, even though yet again Misfits are playing this extremely aggressively, now it pays off, and we see that was pretty much a clean dragon.
Yes, that was again super aggressive. That was pretty much what we have seen happening before as well. But this time you could see Orianna was just zoning away the whole K-Crop with that little ball just standing there and saying, hey, I can press my R button in any second and you all will go in there and I will stop you from doing whatever you want to do there. So you better not come any close to our dragon, and this is our dragon. That was beautiful. I loved it. Misfits are really bold with their decision, but they in the end know what they are doing.
And Schlatter might be in a little bit of a position right here as he is getting picked by Team K-Crop. We had a little bit of a technical issue yet again, but it doesn't really matter as we are back into the game. And that crap wasn't exactly, or it was, I can't really see. No, it was actually taken by Schlatter.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty red on the map, I see. So yes, it was taken by Schlatter, even though that was a very close call from Togmas back there.
This is a very interesting tactic actually being picked by Misfits, because I see it as a, it is bold, it is aggressive, but you know that K-Crop are going in there quite boldly and quite aggressively as well. So why don't you answer with the same boldness and aggression, but you know that you are able to do this a little bit more cleanly, that K-Crop are able to do that. And that does pay off because we have a similar amount of dragons on both teams. Misfits are leading with 2 more turrets in there. And even though you have a very nasty killing spree on that Zoe over here, we still have a 3k gold difference over here. We have a little bit of a technical issue yet again, but it doesn't really matter as we are back into the game. Hopefully it's not going to happen anymore. And yes, so even though that they're going in there quite boldly and quite aggressively, they still pay it off because they know that they're in this lead.
They are in the lead indeed, I have to agree with you, even though the beginning was a little bit hard, especially for aggressive, and even though K-Corp is still pulling up a very good fight against Misfits, so they need to be careful, but look at that!
Ultimate's being burned as here comes that nasty shutdown I was talking about, and that poor Zoe is going down as we see 4 members of Team Misfits are already be able to stop that. Starts that Baron. That is an extremely bold move, even though Zoe was getting picked. In the same time, Aggressive is also going in there as Adam is only on his way in order to join the fray. We see ultimate from Orianna. Tagana's in a very bad position, but here comes an amazing ultimate, followed up by some damage from Team K-Crop as they are able to pick up that Orianna. In the same time, we see ultimates getting burnt more and more. Here comes a double kill from an ultimate from that Graves, as we see Misfits are supposed to withdraw because K-Crop are pulling yet a good fight against them, yet not giving up, as we see both Jack Troll and Aggressive are being in a very tight spot right here. Matty able to pick up that kill on that Jack Troll. In the same time, we see Aggressive getting boldly into the fight against Graves, able to pick up that because of that pure damage from him, but it was interrupted by Matty as we see him to pick up that kill. Yes, as well. And we see only Woolite is standing, trying to defend that. Maybe trying, maybe not, trying to defend that Baron from Team K-Crop, and it seems like they're going to be able to take that Baron without any kind of interruption, as even though Schlatten is already up, he's not going to be able to do anything in time.
No, absolutely not. They are just giving up this Baron completely. They will try to secure the next dragon, which is going up. But that fight, that was a very good beginning actually from Certus, but then it was followed up by amazing ultimate from that Gragas, which just mispositioned him completely and changed everything for K-Crop. They managed to scare away Misfits. That was beautiful. Look at that. Look at that barrel right there.
Boom! With the belly. That was absolutely beautiful, and you can see how Misfits weren't actually expecting that, as there was ultimates being burned, and Schlatten had to flush away in order to try to stay alive, but it wasn't enough because Graves had his ultimate ready as well, and we see Misfits just trying to get away, and we see here Jack Trolls just ultimately going in there, saving his AD carry by dragging attention of Adam onto himself, and just look at this, Aggressivo just absolutely decimating Syncroft with that damage.
That was something K-Crop.
Whoa, and look at this! That's another amazing ultimate from Dractro. Is it going to be enough to do some kind of a difference right now as Team K-Crop are able to pick up that dragon on their team? We see fight is being continued. We see Syncroft is going down. Same goes for Adam as two members of K-Crop is being picked up. Misfits are not done, probably looking for some more fight. As we see Saken in not exactly a big position over here, we see Schlatten being absolutely forced to use his ultimate. Please go on, as I want to see how this fight is going to end. Please, please, please.
Yes.
Thank you very much. As I see now, we see Sleep being on that. Poor Schlatten probably going to be able to escape for his life, as three members of K-Crop are forced to withdraw. Dractro is trying to persuade Matty to go away as Aggressivo, being able to push some more onto that bot lane. Four members of Team Misfits are pushing that turret, probably not going to be still standing after that little push that they're doing. And wow, what is going on that map?
K-Corp are giving Misfits a really hard time and a really, really good fight. You have to admit that Misfits are being very, very close to actually losing there, but they managed to be together, to stay together, and as you said before, and I totally agree with you, they are just playing a little bit cleaner than KC do, a little bit cleaner with their ultimates, with everything they are using here, and they learned their lesson hard way in the last fight in the Baron pit that cost them a Baron, and even though here they didn't manage to pick up that dragon, they still picked up a good fight and 2 enemy champions, and that says something. But they need to be really careful about dragons now, because one more dragon for KC and they have an Infernal Soul, and that's going to be a problem. And at the same time, the Baron is going down on KC really, really soon, in just few seconds, and then we will see another fight for the Baron. Probably, because I'm pretty sure both teams will try to take it, especially with the aggression we see from Misfits and from Schlatten specifically.
I totally agree with you, and at the moment we have a little bit of a break from those amazing team fights. I just want to point out, look at that Kai'Sa, look at her score, look at her farm, and look at her optimization. If that is not a hyper carry, just point me in the way where it is.
Because no, I will not.
Look at it. Look at it.
Yes.
And oh my god, this Jack Troll, this Leona, it's such a clean gameplay from him. I just want to kiss that man. He's just so good.
I only saw one missed E in the whole game. I might have missed something, of course, but honestly, just one missed E in the whole game. And those ultimates and those engages and just being so bold and going into the enemy team, just telling them, hello, I'm here, and guess what, my team is with me. And look at that, that's a very...
And look at that, that might be a little bit of a problem right here. Schlatten is trying to scare Team K-Crop away, and he manages to do so as they are pushing onto that turret. Probably not going to be able to break it down. Maybe yes, as here comes the damage from that Callisto, although there's a sleep on Zoe, and that is an amazing ultimate from Synchronus, able to actually misposition 2 members of Team Misfits at Team K-Crop are going to chase the down. Volite is making a lot of damage on that Adam, able to flash away from it as Oriana has to burn his ultimate yet again as well. But what What amazing damage going through, and Jack Shaw is still able to be alive as he's going away from Syncroft, as he's being chased by him, and also Gragas is here to join the fray. Is he going to be able to go away? I don't really know, but it seems like the rest members of Team Misfits is not going to be able to be there in time. Still able to be alive, even though, how else did he do that? And here goes the rest of the Team Misfits, and at the same time we see Teleport being burned in here. We see here Zoe as well, but no, he stepped into that sleep. Wow, he's still able to manage to get away. His Warlight is saving him. What is going on in this game?
Oh my god, Yaktrol, and oh my god, Certus. The gameplay from Certus right here is just blowing my mind. First of all, that ultimate on the top lane, he saved it till the very end, even though they were already losing team members. They were losing in general. They had to go back as fast as possible. He still managed to save the ultimate till the moment he needed it the most, and he used it right there. That's talking again about the cleanness of the gameplay of Misfits. And then this Yaktrol just walking around, having a little walk around the whole map with 2 enemy champions chasing him desperately, not farming, not doing anything else on the map, but just chasing that poor support who doesn't even have any gold on his poor head. And they are not taking him.
Look at the combination of this ultimate, as in the same moment as Gragas uses his own ultimate, Xayah is using hers in order to get something, and in the meantime we have some more action happening here in the mid lane as I'm about to crack my voice of what is happening right here, right now. Here's an ultimate from Jack Shaw, able to catch up Adam in misposition, but not going to be followed up by Team Misfits. Here comes Aggressivo, joining in fray. Adam is getting in there. Absolute chaos is happening here right now as ultimate is being burned, damage is being burned, as Aggressivo able to pick up that grace, and that's his 2 members of Team K-Crop being downed by Misfits. Probably is going to be yet another a member of Team K-Crop, or he's able to get away from Schlatten as he was chasing him to the very master wound, and that seems like a dragon for Team Misfits. If you weren't a fan of LFL before that game, you better be.
If you were not a fan of Yaktrol for any goddamn reason before that game, I beg you to be. And look at that!
That is a Baron for Team Misfits!
They are just using everything they can in the time that the enemy team is down, and they will then use that Baron. You can trust me on this. They will use that Baron to push through at least one inhibitor.
To do that, as Tangranas is just able to, is able just to join the fray and see how this Baron is going down, as Team Misfits are just absolutely confidently taking the lead right now from K-Crop, and it seems like K-Crop are quite falling behind. We see a replay of that amazing fight in the Dragon Pit, and just look at it. Everything being burned in just split seconds.
And how well they waited for Aggressivo to just come to them, to jump to them, even though there was a very good ultimate from Yaktrol right there. They didn't exactly engage in that moment because they knew they had to
look at this, and the
Aggressivo.
same time Jackal able to actually ult before he's going to sleep, but that ult didn't find anybody, as Syncroft is extremely low because of that Kai'Sa that I was talking about. This Kai'Sa is the raid boss of that game, because if you see that, you better run from it as far as you can.
As far and as fast as you can. I'm just looking at an Infinity Age already built on Kai'Sa, and that is such a great itemization on Kai'Sa, especially for this setup, and that is going to be mid lane pushed as far as possible, and bot lane at the same time. Look at Aggressivo just fighting there against 2 champions at the same time. The tower on the mid lane is going down, and they will try to take that inhibitor as well. They will not leave the enemy base without that inhibitor at least, and possibly maybe even somebody from the enemy team, some champions, and then it could potentially be a game for Misfits.
Just knocking on the door of Team K-Crop and saying, hello, we're coming in and you won't stop us from doing it. And it seems like K-Crop are actually not able to do anybody, as Misfits were able to take that 1 turret from them, deal a little bit of damage on that 2nd turret and even on this inhibitor. They are not done, as they're going to try to get some more damage. Adam has to use his ultimate in order to get away, as Aggressivo goes gold in order to get away. Here's come an amazing ultimate from Jack Troll, and that's Certus picking up that Gragas as aggressive is going out, and that is 2 inhibitors lost for Team K Corp.
And that is actually potentially one of the towers.
But look at that sleep!
Nemesis.
Look at that sleep on Zoe. Probably going to be able to be followed up by Team K Crop. Not their way too afraid as aggressive or going back into the fray using that teleport. Look at this! Certus in a bit of a bad position right now as aggressive is able to pick up that Adam, even though he was aggressive and he was good about it. There's nothing they can do right now as Matty is trying to zone away everybody that he can, but he's not able to do that. As aggressive is going down because of that Zoe, but not still able to keep alive. As Matty is going down because of that Kaiser, and Misfits are just decimating K Crop and going in LFL with 2-0.
Polska
Once again.
Gurum! Oh my god, that was amazing gameplay from Misfits. I am just so happy I witnessed it. I'm so happy we shoutcasted this game Brilmann, because that was amazing, and my voice is actually cracking a little bit too because I couldn't help myself but shout out of all the emotions I had watching this game.
That was just fantastic. And I have to give kudos to K Crop, because they were fighting like a lions. But what a lion can do if they are facing a dragon or a very, very powerful rabbit, in this case, I suppose. But still, Misfits, using their own tactic of K-Crop against them, and using it quite well because of how clean are they able to get in there and play. And Jack Troll, oh my god, that Jack Troll, he was so good.
Woolite was great as well. Aggressivo was amazing. You could see even in the very end of the game, he was just standing solo on the bot lane and just grabbing the attention of 2 to 3 enemy champions at the same time, allowing his team to push the mid and then come help him and take the kills and finish the game. But I have to agree with you, my personal MVP is Yaktrol. He is amazing. His skills on Leona are incredible. I've actually seen 2 is missed for sure on this Leona, but that doesn't matter because those ultimates, you can miss anything you want in the whole game, but those ultimates that he was landing on the enemy team, they were changing everything for Misfits. Kudos to Yaktrol. You are a star to me.
Absolutely a blast of a game to witness and a blast of a game to shoutcast. I thank you all for being in here, and I'm congratulating Misfits on that amazing victory and trying to support K-Crop a little bit. Don't get depressive. You can still pull it off if you try hard enough. My name was Brilmann. I was joined here by amazing Solari, and thank you all very much.
Thank you very much for being with us today. We will see you in the next game. Stay safe. Do widzenia.